What's up? What's up? I'm gonna kind of wait a few minutes. Hopefully, at least a couple people show up. That would be nice. Otherwise, this would be pretty embarrassing and awkward. But I guess, while I just wait a few minutes for hopefully at least a few people to pile in, I'll just vamp a little bit. First of all, first and foremost, happy Pride Month to all of my LGBTQ friends. I have several of my closest friends are members of that community. So much love to you guys. It's also my birthday month. I'm getting old. I'm going to be 28, which is absolutely insane. Um, Still under 30 though, so I don't think I can really call myself old yet. And then I just got a couple just like general announcements. I'm doing this obviously because I hit 1,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I got there a lot faster than I expected. I'll get to that in a second. So yeah, 1,000 subscribers, got there much faster than I expected, mostly on the back of my prequel video, the big one that's like over an hour long. And then I did some like clip outs. So I did kind of several smaller videos that were clipped out from that video. Those got a bunch of views as well. So this is all going way better than I expected. And I had pretty high expectations. So thank you to everyone who has watched those videos and supported me and liked and commented. The comments have been amazing. There's so many of them even that I can't even interact with or look at all of them anymore. Fully monetized. So I'll get that big YouTube ad money now. Not big yet, not for a while anyway, but I got memberships that I'm probably not going to, I think I'm going to focus more on Patreon, which there will be an announcement for that coming. I will be doing a Patreon. I just haven't ironed out all the kinks yet. I don't have like what each tier is going to be and how much they're going to cost and what the perks are going to be. I will do an official announcement once I have all of that stuff figured out, but it is coming. Do have memberships, only one level, and basically all it's going to be at this point. I might flesh it out a bit more down the line, but all that's going to be at this point is basically all well, honestly, yeah, I've been trying to tone that down on my part because I know they demonetize videos where you say that. So I've been trying not to say it as much. I don't think I swore at all in my Star Wars videos. Maybe I said ass. I think I called Mace Windu badass or something like that's literally it. So I've been trying to be really careful about that these days because I know about that. But I saw that you hit 500, which is pretty cool. Congrats on that, man. But yeah, basically, so depending on the video, some of them will have like for example, the prequel video will have tons of comments that I can't quite get to all of them. If you remember, obviously I'll filter it and get to those like right away. So, and then I'll obviously, if there's a bunch of people in the chat or anything. So basically priority reading of questions is or comments in general is the main thing for that. With all that out of the way, might as well get to this first. Okay. Top 3 questions. When are you going to watch Lord of the Rings? I don't know yet. And I assume you're going to want to do a video with me once that happens, kind of similar to the Godfather one. But I'm going to try to carve out. Oh, thought I lost it for a second. I'm going to try to carve out maybe a weekend sometime this summer to do that. I'm not going to watch the extended cuts. No way in hell I'm going to do that. Definitely just the regular ones. Those are already long enough. And then maybe Sunday, if I really like them, I'll watch the extended cuts. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully sometime this summer, I should have time for that. So when are you going to watch Dog Day Afternoon? Another one that's been on my list for a while. I can't really promise timelines for any of these right now. And then what broadcast software? I'm using StreamYards. I was originally going to just go through YouTube, but I realized that, at least to my knowledge, you can't pull up comments like this if you're just streaming through YouTube, which is kind of dumb. But, so I remember you guys always doing that. So I figured I would just use StreamYard as well. I have the free version, not the paid, because I'm a broke boy. But, oh, really? Okay. I don't think I'm going to go see them in theaters. I think the safer bet would be for me to watch them at home and kind of just, I might have to do some starting and stopping. I know how much you don't like that, but with these long ass movies, kind of unavoidable, as busy as I am. I think I'm going to have to do that. So yeah, I'm going to play it safe and watch them at home. Yeah, apparently. I mean, again, this has all happened really fast. I mean, when I posted my prequel video last Monday, so less than 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, I was under 500. So things, really, really went a lot faster than I expected. So this is super crazy and humbling for me, for sure. I wonder. Yeah. So, I mean, my watch list is so fucking long right now. I literally added like 3 new movies to my list as of, was it last night? No, sorry, what days? Today's Saturday. 2 nights ago, when I did my Friday the 13th review with Lego, she mentioned like 2 or 3 movies that I added to my list. It's insanely long right now. I swear I'm adding multiple movies every single day, which is crazy. I don't know how the hell I'm going to be able to get to all of them, but just one at a time, I guess. Plus, I got to rewatch the original trilogy, the Star Wars original trilogy, because I think the last time I watched those was prior to Rise of Skywalker. So, okay, this is a good question. One question that I got to bounce. How long do your videos take to edit? Depends on which one. So, like, just to give an example, my Star Wars prequel video, the big one that's like over an hour long, that took basically several weeks of me spending every minute of my free time on it. And then obviously the smaller ones were super easy because everything was already done. But just to kind of give you, and then like the Godfather one was super easy. You just had to put a few clips in there. That took honestly maybe a half an hour. So it really depends on how much I'm chopping it up, how many clips I'm putting in there. But the Star Wars prequel one was by far and away the most time I ever put into a video. That took, again, weeks. It took me several different sittings to record everything that I wanted to say. And then it took me weeks to do all of the editing. And it was a bitch, but I'm glad to see that people are liking it. So it makes me feel a little bit better about spending all that time on it. So yeah, that's the toughest one yet for sure. Although some videos that I have coming up might honestly take even longer, because I'm going to do the entire Yu-Gi-Oh series, basically do retrospective season by season. That might take even more than that, because those are going to be like probably at least a couple hours each. I'm already started rewatching the show, and there's like, I got pages of notes after only a few episodes. That's going to be crazy, but hopefully it's worth it. People seem to like this, the long form stuff. So, takes a lot of time, a lot of investment, a lot of work, but I totally think it's worth it. The easiest videos to edit by far are the trailer reactions, which I haven't done one in a while, but those literally all I got to do is film myself watching the trailer and then overlay recording of the trailer, and that's literally it. So that's like the easiest thing in the world. But like the video essays, by far and away the hardest stuff that I do. Okay, this is interesting. That's dedication. How do you get your clips? Like, how are you allowed to put those clips from the Star Wars movies into your videos, and how you download them? So what I do is the software, the editing software that I use is called Cyberlink Power Director. And then Cyberlink also has a screen recorder. So you get like the whole package, and I will just screen record. Like, normally what I do is I screen record clips on YouTube, clips and the trailers on YouTube, because you can't screen record stuff on like any streaming service. They won't let you. It'll block it, so that once you try to watch it back or put it in a video or something like that, they'll totally block it. So you literally can't see anything. So the only way to do it is screen record clips on YouTube. And even still with that, Disney was total assholes about copyright with this one, because I had to keep whittling down the clips. I thought the rule was 5 seconds or less, and I was very careful to do that, with every single one of my clips when it came to that Star Wars prequel video, but they still kept hitting me over and over. And it took me, honestly, it took me just as long to figure out the copyright as it did like the original edit. I had to keep whittling these clips down smaller and smaller so that they would finally allow them. I think they ended up being like generally less than 4 seconds, which is crazy. So to be honest, I don't even fully understand the copyright rules. It kind of seems like they can just claim whatever they want, which is really stupid. But of course, I mean, I wasn't going to put in all the time to dispute it or anything. So just had to keep doing it over and over and finally got it through. So again, so glad that it's doing as well as it is. Otherwise, I would feel pretty shitty about all of the time I spent on it. Man, we need to have a creators night soon. Forget we're trying to do that. Yeah, totally. I was actually just thinking about that the other night, that we need to kind of, brainstorm and talk about this stuff. I thought I had something specific in mind, but to be honest, I forgot what it was. But I do remember thinking about it last night, like, oh, this would be interesting to talk to Rob and Lego and whoever else about this. So yeah, I'm totally down. But I think there are like free screen recording softwares available, but just the one that I use came with my editing software, so I figured I might as well use it. But yeah, I could have sworn that they used to allow you to screen record on streaming services, because I think I used to do that like when I first joined YouTube. But they don't anymore. Literally Hulu, Netflix, Max, any of that, they will not let you they let you screen record, but if you try to watch it back, it's just going to be a blank screen. You can hear it, but you can't see it. So that kind of sucks. So you got to find the scenes that you want on YouTube or just do the trailers. Awesome, bro. Thank you. Have a good one. Glad I found the channel to put these vids on while I'm driving. Dude, thank you so much. If you got to bounce, have a good night. Thanks for stopping in, and thanks for supporting my channel and my videos. Appreciate you, man. Hit me up whenever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to chat well, it depends on how long this goes, I guess. I was thinking probably about an hour, depending on, how things go and what people say. Or honestly, what I could just do, like if there aren't very many questions being asked, I could just like bring you on and we could brainstorm stuff live on air. I mean, if you want, unless you want this stuff to be more secret so we don't give away our secrets. That would make, if you want to do that, that makes sense too. But just throwing it out there. You want to? All right. Hold on. Let me see if I even know what I'm doing here, because I've never. All right. Let me copy the link. I'll send it to you on Discord. Yep, I got it. Put these on so I can hear you. All right. Yep. So going to be bringing Rob on any minute now, and we're going to kind of discuss creators. So I guess for whoever's watching is going to maybe get some decent insight for, creating. Going to do some brainstorming. So I don't even know. I've never done this before. Where's he even going to show up? In the bottom here? Yeah. But yeah, I'm so glad that this stuff is doing so well, the Star Wars videos. I was so scared, like, what if I spend all this time on this with all the editing and all the copyright issues, and I literally lost the entire project at one point? What if I do all of that and then just no one watches it? That was like I had a huge fear of that. Like I had major fear of failure, and then I still get a little bit of imposter syndrome right now. It's still crazy to see, the numbers that those videos are doing. But are you coming or what? Maybe I'm missing something, but I thought I sent it to him. Hold on. Yeah, should be good. Oops. Anyone else? Who else is in here? I see two people. Wait, is that just? Yeah, I don't know. I thought I had a couple more announcements, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. Oh, I guess I can kind of talk about what I got coming up. So I posted my little short Godfather review, which I had filmed last Sunday before I did the live stream on Rob's channel. And so I just posted that recently. Not very in depth, just kind of quick, candid, initial thoughts after watching the first two movies for the first time. And then I'm also going to rewatch the original trilogy for Star Wars, and I'm going to do a ranking of all of these Star Wars movies. And that's going to be hopefully fairly soon. That's probably going to be my next big video. Then should be my Empire Strikes Back video essay deep dive, which is going to be so much fun because, you guys thought I loved the prequels. You buckle up for this one. You have no idea. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Spoiler, it's my favorite Star Wars movie. So that's going to be a ton of fun. If I had to guess, that's going to be about somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. And then obviously the Yu-Gi-Oh thing is going to take a long time because I got to watch the whole season 1. I'm only 5 episodes in. And then I have to obviously take notes the whole time, which I have been doing. I already got a ton of notes. Record that, edit it. That's probably going to be at least a couple hours long. So it's going to be the first of several late 90s, early 2000s cartoons that I'm going to. Oh, there he is.
What's going on, buddy?
Oh, man, I was just kind of vamping until you got here, but
I don't have all my lighting on, so I'm a little dim, but
you're
good enough.
I don't think anyone cares. Yeah. So what were we going to talk about? Anything specific?
Well, so here's what I'll say. Half the stuff we talk about, we should talk about in private because it's just not. I don't want.
Yeah,
if we're gonna talk.
Agree.
If we're gonna talk,
we can't give away too much.
Yeah, no, it's weird. But what I will say is this. So,
yeah.
You and I kind of fell into this world. There's everything's a Venn diagram. There's shows we both listen to, watch. There's things I'm interested in. There's things you're interested in. Blah blah blah. But here's what I'll say.
Well, yeah. Hold on.
I changed.
The main thing, obviously, that brought us together was well, never mind. No reason to get into that. But there was one specific fandom that we were both in.
I know. I know. Anyways, cut to the chase. Here's what I'm getting at. YouTube has changed so much since the pandemic, and then over the last year, I would say it has changed again quite drastically.
Yep.
So here's what I'll say. I like Star Wars. I thought I liked Star Wars as much as everybody else. Then I learned I'm a casual Star Wars fan.
Of course.
But I say, I say this to say 2 or 3 years ago, a lot of people were pitching me Star Wars stuff to cover, yada, yada, yada. Me and Delacommon did a review of The Mandalorian season 3 just for fun because we wanted to talk about it. And I'm like, we might as well make content out of it. But cut to the chase. I've just been so much under the impression that the Star Wars market is so oversaturated.
Apparently it's not.
But then you put these videos out.
Yeah.
And they sold like hotcakes, But what I realized was, I go, it's not just the fact that he's putting out Star Wars videos. It's the fact that you're a certain age,
Mhm.
with a certain nostalgia for the prequels,
Yeah, I grew up with them. So,
explaining why you like the prequels.
yep.
And you're coming at it from a different angle. And not only is that very much, I respect the hell out of that, but I think that's what people are interested in. You
Yeah.
know, people are tired of hearing, listen, my 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 casual movie watching friends that I've
Mhm.
known my whole life now bitch and moan about Star Wars. By the way, sorry if that gets you demonetized.
Oh, whatever.
Bitch and moan about Star
You
Wars
know,
and
hold on a second.
Marvel. Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
it's it's crazy that that's even, like, something that we have to talk about now, getting demonetized.
Well, I don't. I mean, like,
No, no, I
full
do, yeah.
disclosure. I hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm still just gonna talk the way I talk. It's just not.
Yeah,
I'm
to
so
be
old
honest,
school with YouTube, you know, like the old days, like Joe Rogan and stuff, you know.
so do they just not allow swearing, like, at all? Does that automatically get you
So so I want to shout out what one of the people I respect the most in this space, if not the most, is the great Dan Murrell.
Oh, Merle's awesome. Yeah,
And
fantastic.
he did a video the other day with like the theaters and like 7 things to possibly fix them. And he used the word asshole and he bleeped it out, you know, because it's all pre-recorded.
Wow.
And I was just, I mean, again, the guy, you know, him and his wife, they got this is how he makes his living, this is how he
Of
makes
course.
his bones.
Yeah.
So I get it, you know, and if there was a point where that was for me, I would just make all the videos 18 and plus. Like you'd have to be 18, you'd have to sign into your YouTube account and prove that you're 18 to
Yeah,
watch my
for me,
videos.
I'm gonna try to be really aware of it and just try really hard not to swear because I don't
Sure.
wanna have to bleep stuff out because I hate bleeping. So
What
I'd rather just not do it if I can avoid it. It's
it,
tough because, just the way I talk in real life, I swear a lot, but I have been trying to avoid it, and specifically when I'm recording YouTube stuff.
what helps you is you're doing a lot of pre-recorded stuff.
Yes,
So that
almost everything.
you
Yeah.
can easily edit that. Whereas like I'm
Yep.
just, you know why I don't have copyright problems? All my intro videos, you know why I never have, knock on wood, never have any copyright problems? Because we go
Why?
live. I'm not uploading it through the server where it's
Oh,
gonna
so
search.
when you do it live, they don't catch it
I don't have
nearly as
those
often.
problems. Any
Right.
song I want to use after we're done being live, it'll just give the
S
song credits in the description. Like the I'm just Ken, it'll just say Universal
Yeah.
Records, blah, 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 no problem, or whatever
So,
the
like, the problem
studio,
for
Warner Brothers.
me is when I'm rendering the videos on YouTube,
Yeah, because they're
uploading them,
searching for it.
they're
They're
searching and they catch it.
they're
Yeah.
not looking for me because we're going
Right.
live.
Because you don't have to
Yeah,
go through all that when you're doing it live. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
But
interesting.
anyways, cut to the chase. So your Star Wars thing, you know, so I say this to say like 3 or 4 years ago, I had gotten tired of listening to people. And again, people I respect, I'll tune into a different video.
Sure.
Get tired because it's like I got burned out with Star Wars like 5 years ago. I like The Mandalorian. Um, but now the people I know have known my whole life,
Mhm.
they're pissing and moaning about Star Wars and Marvel, and it's like,
Dude, I hear
okay,
tons of shit about Marvel these days. Lots of
but
complaints.
here's the deal. 5 years ago, you didn't hear anything
No.
from your average people in this
Yeah.
space. Yes, but not your average
Well, I mean,
very casual audience.
that 5 years ago, the average person was, like, super excited about Marvel, not
Sure,
bitching about it.
sure,
They're excited for Infinity War and Endgame and stuff, you know?
yeah. So anyway, so I say all this to say that's why I don't do that kind of content because
Yeah.
not only, in my opinion, again, you're coming at it from a different angle. I'm not a big fan of prequels, so
I know
doesn't
that,
affect
yep.
me.
Like I
It's
said,
fine.
I think you're a little too old to like the prequels.
Exactly.
You're, like, 5 years older than me.
So I don't cover that stuff. You know,
Right.
me and Lego, we did our Loki show because we both liked Loki.
Yeah,
But
Loki's great.
we had fallen off on MCU review shows. We didn't do it for Echo. We didn't do it for Secret Invasion because we don't get the views, and we just frankly just don't give a shit.
Hmm.
You know. But like the show we did last Sunday, I'm still talking. I'm like, man, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, that was a blast.
Mhm.
You know, so it's like I just like doing shit that gets me excited, and if it gets us some subscribers, great. But at the same time, 2 or 3 months ago, about 3 months ago, we had a big hit, me and Delicommon, with a Beatles video that got
Yeah, dude, that
Crazy,
exploded. Holy shit.
crazy fucking views.
Yep.
And that's when I had approached you. I was like, me, you, Danny, Lego, Delacommon,
Did
we need we need to get together and start strategizing.
did that
Because
one
yeah, go
so
ahead.
did that one get to the point where you couldn't keep up with all of the comments? Like you couldn't reply to all of them or look at all of
No,
them? Okay.
uh,
That did happen to
there
me with
was
my prequel video.
there was hundreds,
Yeah.
hundreds of comments. But here's the catch. 10 minutes in the morning while I'm having my coffee, I'd read through them. 10 minutes at night, I'd do them on my phone
Hmm.
every day for about 2 weeks. After about 2 weeks, I started tailing off. But here's the deal. You have multiple videos that I'm sure have a lot of comments. I like just the
Yes.
one.
Yeah,
You know what
because
I
like I
mean?
said, I got the big one and then I did like several smaller ones. Like I did a video specifically for each movie in the prequels as well, and those all
Yeah.
got thousands of views. So it's honestly a little too much to keep up with. And I figured at some point, it would get there. It would get to that point. I didn't think it would happen this quickly though. And I think just I may have caught a little lightning in a bottle here because The Phantom Menace is back in theaters. That's like it's the 25th anniversary, or it was. I don't know if it still is, but it was. So that's like a big thing. We're coming up on almost 20 years for Revenge of the Sith. So like all of us that grew up with the prequels, we're now like in our late 20s, early 30s, stuff like that.
So
So
I want to it's not that I want to correct you. It's that I think I want to have this discussion. Okay, because this is an interesting discussion to have. You had
uh,
made mention that you think I was too old for the
I think
prequel.
I think slightly,
No,
yeah.
no, I know, but so this is what's interesting because I don't know what the answer is. So that's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay.
So I was in 3rd grade when Phantom Menace came out, right?
Yeah.
So on paper, I'm a 9-year-old kid, 8-year-old,
Sure.
9-year-old kid. So that movie, I am the target demographic outside of Star Wars fans. I
Right.
am the target demographic for that film. Attack of the Clones, it was still PG, but it was a
Yes.
little more adult than kiddie, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'd say so.
So that came out when I was 11,
Yep.
almost 12. So same deal. Revenge of the Sith, PG-13, more adultish themes. That came out when it came out in 06?
Revenge of the Sith was '05.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were
05.
99, 99, '02, and '05 every 3
So
years.
I was 14. Okay. So again, perfect age. So on paper, I was the perfect age, the target demo to go and see these movies literally as they came out. Okay. But it seems to be, and I know you're technically a millennial, you're like
Barely. I
the
just
last
snuck in
year,
last year.
like the
Yep.
last year or two.
Yep.
So from what most people say is they just use the blanket term Gen Zers love the prequels, So whether that's right or wrong, not the point. My
I
point
don't
is
know if that's necessarily true though. I feel like a lot of Gen Zers, maybe the older ones that are closer to
the older
my
one.
age like the
Yeah.
prequels, but the younger ones kind of hate on the prequels. And
Well, the ones that have a voice, I
it
should say. The
yeah,
ones
it
that are
feels
over
like
like 22. Yeah.
yeah, if you're over a certain age or under a certain age, you hate on the prequels. You have to be
Sure.
kind of right in that sweet spot, which is exactly where I am. I guess so I didn't even see The Phantom Menace in theaters. I was 3 and I remember my dad bringing home the VHS and I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And then I think that was the first one I watched. Then I watched the originals and then I saw Attack of the Clones in theaters when it came out. And then obviously so you said you were in 3rd grade when Phantom Menace came out. I was in 3rd grade when Revenge of the Sith came out. So like I'm in 3rd grade when all this hype for Revenge of the Sith. So I guess yeah, I don't know. It seems like people
So,
around my age
yeah.
have that special place in their heart for it.
So here's what I'm getting at. Because you said I was too old, and you're not the only person that's ever made that comment. Like
Yeah.
straight up. So here's my theory, and I don't know if I don't know the answer. So
Okay.
it just
Yeah,
came
go
to my
ahead.
mind since I've been on air. Here's my theory. When I was born, the original 3 movies had already come out. Okay. So when I was in kindergarten, no joke, that's when I saw the original Star Wars movies.
Okay.
Okay. So I was like, this is great. Let's rewatch these over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's not about how old you were when they came out. It's were they already in existence when you
Oh,
were introduced to Star Wars? So
that's probably it. Yeah,
for you, it was never called Star Wars. For
right.
you, it was always called Episode 4: A New Hope.
Yep.
Does that make sense? And then I know
Well,
you know movies, so you can just kind of fill in the
no,
blanks from
yeah,
there.
no, that totally makes sense. Yeah, I think
But
that's a good way of putting it.
but
Because
to
like I
our
said,
audience,
yeah, for me,
yeah.
I didn't have the preconceived. I hadn't seen the originals before I watched Phantom Menace, so I didn't have these preconceived ideas of what these movies should be. By the way, Leonard still hasn't seen the first 6 Star Wars movies. Dude, what are you doing? I
So
mean, so wait, does that mean if you're still here, Leonard, have you seen so you've seen the sequels, the Disney ones, but not the originals? That's kind of strange.
this
Um,
is our because we're on a different I'm on your channel now. So
yeah, this is weird.
this is our really good friend Leonard Kim, who we
Yeah.
love and adore. And we always, we're always having like a combat on new movies, old movies, et cetera, et cetera. And if you remember, me and you said last summer, like if we were to get him to watch one film pre 1990 or pre 2000 or
Yeah.
something, and we settled on Jaws.
We did?
Well, I had recommended it, and you were like,
Okay.
"Oh, I like that." You
Yeah,
had mentioned
no,
another movie,
I
though,
think
as
I said
well.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
But Jaws is a great pick as well. There's certainly a lot of good choices there, but I mean, oh my god, dude.
But it's like the more I think about it, it's
Yeah.
like you should probably watch the original trilogy. And again, I'm biased. You should watch The Godfather. I know.
Yeah,
Again,
I
I'm
mean,
biased,
yeah, it's one of those that you have to watch at some point in your life.
But you even said it on the show. There was like a million things that happened in the movie that you were like, "Oh, that's
what that's from."
That's
Yeah,
what that's
I had
from,
heard
yeah.
these quotes my entire life, but I didn't know the context of them, what movie or whatever. It's always fun when that happens, Like, oh, you do the like DiCaprio point at the screen, like, oh, I know that line. I recognize that. But yeah, Leonard, you definitely got at least watch the originals.
he's seen Jaws."
I don't know if you would like the prequels, but I know the originals are probably too old for you, but you should still watch them because it's some of those movies that you just have to watch at some point. Yeah, that's surprising. I wouldn't have. Is that the oldest movie you've seen, Leonard? That'd be 1975. I can't imagine him watching anything before that.
No offense, Leonard.
Yeah, yeah. I think what's the oldest movie I've seen? Because I haven't seen any of like the original like Dracula or any of that. I think we figured it out.
I can go 35 years before that and like in detail talk about a lot of movies.
Yeah, because I know. Well, when we did the "What Makes a Movie Good" thing with me, you, and Lego, I think
the one I showed up for 5 minutes before you guys went to.
Yeah,
air.
you inserted yourself in there.
And then you guys started your own podcast because of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because we needed to have our time apart from you.
Right. Listen, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah. Shit, what was I going to say about that? Oh, right.
Movies before Dracula.
Yeah, yeah. I think you figured out the oldest movie I had seen was, It's a Wonderful Life. I think that's.
Wait, you haven't seen The Wizard of Oz? Have you seen The Wizard of Oz?
No. No Wizard of Oz. Okay. Nope, never. Or Gone with the Wind. No, I haven't seen anything from the 30s, I don't think. Because I remember you looked at it and you were like so surprised.
Yeah. I mean, prior to 1910, they're shorts, and I've seen a lot of those, like A Trip to the Moon, that sort of fare. But then like D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation, which I believe was 1915, that's probably like the longest earliest long playing film I've seen.
Yeah, and that one's like super problematic, right? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
So I'm not going to sit here and like defend a movie that I had nothing to do with, but here's all I'll say. It's literally a movie about the Reconstruction era of the Civil War and the forming of Jim Crow and the Klan and blah 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 blah. Now, again, on paper, to tell that story from an interest level, like to watch a movie, again, we watch a movie like Goodfellas, which is a movie about horrible people.
Oh yeah.
But now again, there's a big difference between gangsters and Klansmen.
Yes.
But it's the same deal with Gone with the Wind. Like that movie, I will stick up for because it's like you're not supposed to like Scarlett O'Hara.
Right.
Like she's not a good person, but it's literally a movie about a time and place, and it's very well made, and it's interesting for me to watch,
Okay.
But I know a lot
Yeah.
of people our age, like that movie hasn't aged well for them. And that's
Wait,
fine.
so are you still talking
Gone with
about
No, I'm
Gone
talking
with the
about Gone
Wind?
with the Wind. Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay, yeah.
movie's it's not aged well for a lot of people our age.
Yeah.
But like I've learned this the hard way. A lot of people our age don't have that attachment to Casablanca that like
Well,
even Gen Xers have. And
yeah.
Casablanca is ranked the third greatest film ever made.
I haven't seen that either. So
Oh, you gotta come take a night trip down to Joliet. We'll watch Casablanca. It'd be great. We'll go thrift stores the next day.
How long is it?
Less than 2 hours.
Oh, okay. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind is long as hell though, right?
Gone with the Wind's three and a half. It's got an intermission.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, it does. Okay, yeah. By the way, Godfather 2 has an actual intermission. Like it says up on the screen,
Yes.
intermission, because I was trying to guess when it would be, and I actually did it a little bit too early. So because I had to stop and start it.
So it's interesting because the intermission, if we were doing trivia, I want to say there's 56 minutes left after the intermission. So you're way more than halfway.
Oh, wait, for Godfather 2?
Godfather 2. The
Okay,
intermission,
yeah,
when the intermission picture comes up, there's only like 56 minutes left of the movie. Because when they come back, it's
Hello.
It was an abortion. It's that scene when they come back from it. So
Yeah.
like everything's already happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Leonard said it was for a Spielberg class he took in college. So like the class was specifically focused on Spielberg movies. If so, that is really awesome.
Well,
That's
if it was specifically focused on Spielberg, did you guys not watch Duel? I'm guessing they didn't watch Duel. They probably watched. Let me think. Yeah, go ahead.
Point being, like, I've never heard of that before. Like, if that was available to me, I certainly would have taken it because that would have been awesome. Or like if there was a like Christopher Nolan class, like, oh man, I'm in that, But I don't think we had stuff like that, at least, when I was in college. Loved your video.
I mean, general film classes, but not.
Official Rave Blitz, loved your video essay in the prequels. Great stuff. The prequels are pretty neat. Thank you. Yes, and I agree. They are pretty neat. Rob does not agree, but like he's a little bit too old.
Listen. I think you make very good videos.
Thank you.
I respect the videos. I just don't respect the movies. But that's me.
That's
I
fine.
do like Revenge of the Sith. I think that's a fun movie.
Yeah,
sure.
That seems to be the one that most people like. It's the other two that are less well thought of.
Do you want to know why I think that is?
Sure.
2 reasons. One, you get Vader at the end.
Yeah, of course. That's part of it.
2, one is so different than the original 3 movies.
Sure.
Luke Skywalker is supposed to be somewhere between like 18 and 22. We're dealing with like a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
The government aspect of it, I think, can get a little confusing in Attack of the Clones
I
younger
have
people.
actually, like, the political stuff is something that I have come to appreciate more throughout the years.
Well, as you've gotten older, but I'm talking about, imagine being 11 years old and watching Attack of the Clones and like, it's not Godfather 2, where you're like, man, this is some heavy concepts where, but anyways, no, I honestly think Revenge of the Sith, like other than the Vader thing, the reason why it plays so well for people that aren't like big on the prequels is because it's way more akin to the action, to the drama of the originals.
It's the payoff. This is what they've been building for the other 2 movies. And I know that not me, but a lot of people, the people that don't like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones as much, feel like those 2 were just set up for, the big payoff, Revenge of the Sith, which is what they really wanted the whole time, and that's why there was so much hype for it when it first came out.
Right.
For those who didn't like the prequels, I highly recommend you guys check out Rick Worley. He did an amazing documentary in the prequels, and he goes into detail on Lucas's mindset and influences. Interesting. I've never heard of this before, but I'll definitely have to check that out.
If it's been around for at least 2 or 3 years, I think I may have seen it.
Oh, really?
If it's on YouTube. If it's on YouTube, then
all
yeah.
right. So official Rave Blitz, do you know where that's available? Because I would certainly like to watch that.
Yeah, let us know.
Even though I already like the prequels, I still am interested.
If there's a link, just put the link in the chat.
Yeah, he made a video on the special editions as well. Cool. Yeah, that sounds interesting. By the way, have you ever actually seen the original versions of the original trilogy?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'll go get them.
Oh, you own them. Okay.
Hang tight, buddy.
It's titled "The Prequels Are Better Movies Than You Deserve." Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. I mean, I agree with the thesis, the statement. So it's certainly something I would like to watch. But yeah, apparently Rob has the original versions. I never did. I think the VHSs that I had back in the day were the special editions.
Hang tight, yeah.
Well, how many different ones have there been?
I have all of them. Hang.
Okay, that's awesome. We love our physical media here. I'm a huge physical media collector myself, but I don't have like all. Rob has a ton of like really old physical media, like VHSs and stuff like that, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I got rid of most of my VHSs. All I have now is like the stuff that I actually watch now, 4K movies and steelbooks and stuff like that.
Which one do you have?
I don't think I have any of the VHSs anymore, but
I'm asking you which special editions did you have growing up?
I think it's
here.
Show them both.
This is what the cover. So the covers that are in this case, they had these covers on the slips.
I don't think I had that one.
So you must have had this one. Hang on. Just hang on. And then these are the covers on the slips for.
I think it's that. I think that's the one.
This is what most people had.
Yeah.
So I say this. So I have all of them. So most of these I got at garage sales, except for my originals. This I got at a thrift store.
Nice.
And this I got at a garage sale for $0.25. Guy didn't know what he had. These are the ones. I believe this is 90. Okay, so these ones came out in 95.
95. Okay.
George Lucas had tinkered with them a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, so let me ask: was this was not Jedi Rocks yet, right?
I'm going to show. So I do have the originals, which we're going to get to.
Okay.
So this is he had tinkered with them a bit.
Okay.
This is Han shoots second or whatever the hell.
I hate that, by the way.
Well, this is 97. Okay. So this is the 20th anniversary. I remember watching on Good Morning America when they announced this shit.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Straight up. Because again, like me and my friend Jimmy, who's been on my channel multiple times, like
Jimmy Nails, yep.
No, Jimmy Bartlett.
Not Jimmy Nails.
No,
okay.
my other friend Jimmy, yeah.
Okay.
We've been friends since first grade.
Okay.
So like we ate this shit up. So like
yeah,
they had re-released them in theaters, which I didn't go and see, but they re-released them on video. And the big news was George Lucas was using computer technology, the same technology that made Terminator 2 and the upcoming film Titanic. Okay. So much better. He was using that technology to re-edit Star Wars. It was like a big thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously we see people didn't quite like that as much, but and then they were redone again like 10 years or so later. It was a few years after Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
And that's when they got rid of the original actor that played, I don't know his name, the actor that played Anakin Skywalker, like once the mask is on.
Oh shit. I know who that is.
It's like the really round head.
Yeah.
And they replaced him. They replaced him with Ewan McGregor.
No, you mean Hayden Christensen?
Or with Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't mind that. I know a lot of people hate that. I don't mind
it.
I mean, that's the way he chooses to see himself, so I'm cool with it.
That's
so
fine.
okay.
So anyway, and then these are, if you find Revenge of the Sith on video, it's worth a lot of money because it's a 2005 film, and that was the last year that they made VHS tapes. So
Yeah.
it's super rare.
So I remember I did have those VHSs for Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. And then when Revenge of the Sith came out, we just got the DVDs. And then we went back and got the DVDs for all of the other ones too. So yeah, I imagine
here
the VHS in that.
Here are the originals.
The originals. Like no changes.
So here's what I'll explain. So technically, it's the original for Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
But so back in the day, a little education. Back in the day, studios did not want you to actually own these movies.
Right.
Because they would like to re-release them in the theater and get you to come back. So they priced them so high that really the only people that could afford them would be either rich people or video stores.
Right.
So if you're selling them for $100 a pop, video stores could buy them because they could make their money back.
Sure.
So they had these, like, the boxes were a little bit bigger, and they made those for video stores. But then once they made it like somewhat affordable for people to buy them, they put them out on video. So I want to say this is like 1984. That's
wow. Okay.
So but if you notice, it doesn't say A New Hope.
Just Star Wars.
It's just Star Wars. And then Empire Strikes Back, which I actually have 3 copies of this, the CBS Box one, and then Return of the Jedi. I've had these for a very, very, very long time. I didn't know how rare they were until I was gigging. No joke. 5 years ago, I was gigging at this bar, and the guy had a videotape collection, and he would play videotapes on a TV, like in the bar, just because like he thought it was cool. We're gabbing about tapes, and I was like rattling off. I didn't have a lot of tapes at the time, so I'm like rattling off what I own, and he goes, "What Star Wars tapes? Do they say CBS Box on the side?" And I said, "They do." And he goes, "I'll give you $100 for them." And I was like, "No, like, they're mine. Like, they're sentimentally valuable."
Yeah.
And he, like, all night long, even when he paid me when I went to go leave, he's like, $125. So that's when I found out that they were worth something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I also have, so I recently picked this up at a thrift store for $1. This is the DVD box set that came out in 2008. And as a special feature on each disc, you can watch the original theatrical version. So
nice. Okay, so yeah, he says A New Hope's title was added, I believe, in the 80s prior to Empire Strikes Back coming out. Okay. So they did. I thought it was maybe later than that, but they did add it pretty quickly.
It's not on that tape. It just says Star Wars.
Yeah, that's pretty cool that one just says Star Wars. By the way, I think it also just says Star Wars on Letterboxd. If you go to it on Letterboxd, it'll just say Star Wars, which is pretty cool.
I do know that before Empire came out, they re-released the original Star Wars in the theater, and George Lucas had already made like an edit or two, I think with like the pew pews. I think he made those a little bit better. He had already, listen, man, he'd already been tinkering with this thing.
So how much do you know about like when he made specific changes? So I know that you said that the special edition that you have is when Han shoots second. When did I think they changed the Emperor pretty quickly in Empire Strikes Back. They changed that pretty early, right? Because remember the original one had like this weird looking eyes.
Oh yeah,
you've seen.
I want to say those were also in the. Listen, here's the deal. I could be wrong. So if somebody's watching this, throw it in the comments if I'm totally wrong. I want to say the 95 release, the ones that you said you'd watched when you were younger.
Yeah,
they were, whatever changes they were very, very minimal. Whereas the 97 edition, if you'd seen the movie a dozen times, you were like, oh, multiple things. I also believe 97 is when they added the some of the stuff. They added all that extra stuff in the cantina.
Oh yeah, okay. And like, was that when they added that one like animal that walks right in front of the camera?
Yeah, in
that was strange.
Return of the Jedi.
No,
Return of the Jedi in the first one.
That's New Hope. Yeah,
there's a big thing in whatever bar sequence is in Return of the Jedi, because I just saw that one in the theater with my cousin Chad 2 years ago with a live orchestra playing while the movie played. It
Oh,
was awesome.
nice. That's awesome.
And I'm like, it took me like 20 minutes into the movie, and I go, oh my God, that's right. We're watching the 97 re-edits. Like, God
Is
damn
that
it.
also when they did Jedi Rocks? Was that the 97 one? Or is
That I don't know.
Okay.
What is, I need more context. What's the Jedi Rock?
The Jedi Rocks is they changed the song in Return of the Jedi. It's the da da ba da da dee da. You know it, right? At Jabba's palace. It used to be something else.
That
people
sounds like
hate
the
that.
90. So then also the 97 is when you got all those fireworks, CGI fireworks at the end.
Yeah. And they changed the song at the end too. The Ewoks actually.
Yeah, that's all the 97 one, dude.
Okay,
and
so
they continue to tinker with it. Sorry.
I actually like the victory song better than Yub Nub. Because Yub Nub was the original song at the end with the Ewoks singing it, and then they changed it to like, Victory Celebration. That's it. Victory Celebration. I actually like that better. That's one of the changes that I do prefer. As well as, of course, the Emperor one and Empire Strikes Back, because the original one was weird. Everything else, I don't really feel like was necessary. And they keep making the Han thing worse. Like they added the McClunky, which what the hell was that? You know about that, right? On Disney Plus?
No.
So now Han shoots second again, and Greedo, for some reason, says McClunky before Han shoots him. So like they added another weird thing. It's like they can't just leave him alone.
You know, I would complain more, but my guy Coppola has re-edited Apocalypse Now like 5 times, but it's in a totally different vein. So they had all this film and they cut it down to this theatrical edition, and then he added a couple of scenes, and then he added a couple of more scenes, you know, but like, listen, George Lucas can do whatever he wants. He's got nothing to prove to anybody.
Yep.
I don't understand why. I should say I understand why he's done all these edits over the years, because it's his vision, and his vision has changed over time. When he made this first movie, he didn't know it was going to be what it was.
Sure.
Right. But what I will say is that I don't understand why you can't watch the original theatrical versions on Disney Plus. Why is that not an option?
I totally agree. Yeah, I wish they would make those available. That'd be nice. Yeah, they only have like the newest version possible on Disney Plus.
And it's counterintuitive, because if you think about it, that would actually be an event for them to put that on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah.
And I think it would boost their numbers
absolutely. Yes.
For a few months.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that would be very interested in watching that. Whereas they just recently, you probably don't know or care anything about this, but there was an original Let It Be documentary by from the Beatles in 1970. And it wasn't received very well. It was on television, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But that video, because of that video, that's why everybody always thought Yoko broke their band up, and like just all this stuff, right? So long story short, there was like 20 hours of footage. So Peter Jackson found all this footage and cut it together and made the Get Back documentary that came out on Disney Plus 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
And rave reviews. Everybody that's seen it that likes the Beatles, 5 stars. Like there is no 4.5. Okay. I've seen it 3 times. I say this to say it's 9
okay. I was going to
hours
say,
long.
are you going somewhere with this? Yeah.
Yeah. I say this to say that is significantly better than the original. And just a couple weeks ago, Disney Plus, or a couple months ago, Disney Plus announced that they were going to finally release, because it had never been released on DVD or anything. They're finally going to release the original, the Beatles Let It Be documentary. And they just dropped it a couple of weeks ago. And it went off. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? This Peter Jackson thing is it's a masterpiece. So with Star Wars, it's the opposite. That actually, to put the originals out, would actually be a draw.
Oh yeah, people would flock to Disney Plus for that, especially like older people that don't really have that much streaming. They would definitely do it.
Does that make sense? Like, what would actually get subscribers?
No, totally. Yeah, it would. So just to comment on this real quick. So I was still going to Best Buy until the day they stopped selling physical media. And they stopped very recently. I think it was early this year. But prior to that, I would go there probably at least once a week. They always had good steelbooks. So I would buy their 4K steelbooks whenever they came out. And I was pretty sad when, they announced that they were going to stop selling physical media. And then when I actually went there one day and the physical media section was entirely gone, that's it's a new era. And that was pretty upsetting, honestly, because Best Buy was my go-to place for physical media. You can still order stuff on like Amazon and stuff, but it really sucks that I just can't walk into Best Buy anymore. Mo says, congrats on the 1K subs. I need some kind of excitement after the Rangers losing. Sorry to hear about that, but thank you for popping in, Mo. Mo is one of my best friends, one of my biggest supporters, so appreciate you, man. Yeah, totally. Very sad day when Best Buy decided to do that. Because it's different. I mean, obviously, ordering physical media is fine, but it's different to be able to walk into a store and walk around and look at those physical media stuff. So, yeah, I'm really going to miss that. I knew it was coming. I just hoped it wouldn't happen this soon.
I have a theory.
Okay.
In about 5 years, all of a sudden, you're going to see this wellspring of people you and I know that watch maybe like 25 new movies a year, whether they're new to them or new in general, and a couple of TV shows, very casual, people. We know a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
In about 5 years, it'll have reached them. And you'll see this wellspring of people that are like, man, I'm paying $50 a month for Netflix and $30 a month for Disney Plus.
Yep.
And $17.99 a month for Hulu. I can't afford the rest. I got these 3. By golly, some of my favorite movies, man, I wish I owned them so I could watch them whenever I want.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, it's either going to be too late for them to make physical media again, or they're going to just start making it again. One or the other. It's either that or they're going to start raiding my thrift stores and taking all my movies from me that I'm trying to buy for $1.
So, yeah, first off, this is exactly why I am buying as much physical media as I can right now. As far as movies that I really want to own and would watch over and over, I'm making sure that I own them, before they stop making them. And yeah, honestly, I do think the market is going to come back around at some point, kind of like it did for like vinyls came back in a big way fairly recently. I can see that happening with physical movies as well. Like all of a sudden people are going to want them again, and they might actually start making them again. So that'd be interesting to see where that goes.
I not only agree with that, I think it's going to be quadruple the amount of people that own turntables, like record players right now.
Yeah.
I think quadruple, because that many more people, because again, you think about a record player, you got to have speakers. There's a lot involved, right? But you even think even more, like to drop $100 on a 4K player and $300 to own 20 of your favorite movies.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good investment.
It really is. It really is. Because you never have to worry about, I always see people complaining, oh, they're taking this movie off this streaming service. It's like, well, if you owned it, you wouldn't have to worry about that. I have a hard time believing they would be unable to make physical media. Yeah, for sure. So I think if the market comes back, which I think it probably will, they'll probably start making it again, for sure.
Yeah, what I meant more by like it's too late is it's like, think about all the factories that have already shut down that made physical, you know what I mean? Like they would have to like revamp all the factories. And I think Sony and a lot of those guys would be trying to decide, is it worth it or not? And you and me and everybody else here knows from experience, they don't always have their finger on the pulse.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways.
So by the way, I love this analogy because yeah, I agree. I have a ton of physical media, completely hoarding it, and I still have like all of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So that analogy is perfect. And this one, were you ever did you ever game much growing up, or did you play games? Yeah.
I had like 10 games for my PlayStation 1.
Oh,
And
you
I
had a
had like
PS1. Okay,
I
yeah.
had 8 games for my PlayStation 2. And then by the time I was like 14, I just didn't care.
Yeah, so
I've played at friends' houses here and there,
sure.
but I'm not good. They don't like it. Like if I want to play Call of Duty, because I'm not any good at it.
So I grew up with the PS2 and I still have my PS2 and a bunch of PS2 games. Like I got several Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, Bounty Hunter. I got like a Ninja Turtles game that I really loved, a fishing game, Lord of the Rings game. I think it's Return of the King. Yeah, so I still have a ton of PS2 games and I still play it because to me that's like my all-time favorite system.
Just kind of clicked. You played a Lord of the Rings game, but you haven't seen the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Fair.
actually, you know what?
I
I
just
have
wanted
seen.
clarification.
So no, I actually want to. That's not entirely true. I've seen Fellowship as a kid. I thought it was boring. So again, that was a long time ago. So that will be a rewatch. The other two will be entirely first time watches.
But it kind of is, because it's act 1 of a 3-act film.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Sure, but I imagine that, as I've gotten older, and that was probably, I don't know, 15 years ago, that I would appreciate it more, you know.
totally.
So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I can get that done fairly soon, but no promises. Yeah, Mo gave his games to his cousins and wish he didn't. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had to buy some of my PS2 games again. Like I went to this, I don't know if it still exists, but a few years ago I went to this like pre-owned video game and movie place. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but they had like all kinds of old games and movies and stuff, and they were super cheap. So all the PS2 games that I didn't have anymore, I just bought them again because I'm like, why not? I got a PS2 still. I'm sure I'm still going to play some of these. So yeah, I mean, obviously, most people did.
I saw Return of the King in the theater.
Oh, you didn't see the first two?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, plus you got to think, because like the first one, it either came out, because I was born in November in '90, so it's like I don't know if I was 10 or 11. I don't know what month it came out. I know Return of the King came out in December, but the first two, I don't know what month they came out specifically. So it's just like I was into other things. But then when Two Towers came out the next year, but like I knew a lot of people that had talked about it. Like it was definitely in the zeitgeist for people my age. But when Two Towers came out on DVD, me and my dad watched the first two and we were like, damn. And then we had to wait like 9 months or 6 months for Return of the King. But it was awesome, you know.
Yeah, it's funny. I think I owned the DVDs, like the box set of the trilogy as a kid, but just for some reason, I guess, yeah, because I watched Fellowship and thought it was boring. I didn't even bother with the other two. My brother watched them and he's younger than me. So I don't know, maybe he matured faster, but yes, don't worry. I've been reading everything you've been saying for sure.
Okay, so they all came out in December.
Yeah.
So it'd have been 11. Okay.
Okay. And you said they're going to be back in theaters?
Yeah, starting next weekend. So me and my friend Jimmy B, not to be confused with Jimmy Nails, Jimmy B, we were gonna go see him together, the extended cuts. But him and his wife are going to Mexico or Hawaii or somewhere for their honeymoon or for their anniversary. They're left today or something. So anyway, so I'm gonna go. My 10-year-old nephew has not seen them yet, and Helen's been showing him. They watched the Caesar trilogy recently.
Ooh.
He watched all the original X-Men movies except for Logan, obviously.
Right.
And she called me a couple weeks ago and she's like, do you think he's old enough for do you think he'd understand Lord of the Rings yet? And I was like, hey, they're putting them back in the theater, so I'm trying to convince them. She's like, I don't know, because they're the extended cuts, so they're each 4 hours long. So I don't know. I don't know if he can sit through that, but
the extended cuts that's what's in theaters.
That's what they're putting in the theaters.
Oh, yeah.
And no offense, I know you said you probably won't watch those. Those are the only ones I can watch now. Because
really?
Once you have, so the first one, it's like 40 minutes longer. The second one's like 35 minutes longer. And then the third one's like maybe a half an hour longer.
Okay.
So they're all of varying degrees. But once you have all of those details a part of the bigger picture, the bigger puzzle now, I would never go back to the theatrical cuts.
Interesting.
Like, as much as I enjoyed watching those, the 2 or 3 times I saw each of them when they like came out, once the extended cuts came out and I watched those, it was like, oh, bad comparison, but it's like the Snyder cut versus the theatrical cut of Justice League. Like, I think
Yeah.
everybody agrees, whether you like the Snyder cut or not, it's not the point, but I think like everybody agrees that the Snyder cut is
Well, okay, I have a
in
confession.
one way better than the theatrical, you know?
I have a confession. I have not seen the Snyder cut still.
No,
I have seen the
swear to
Whedon
God,
cut.
I
Yeah.
swear to God, I've seen it 3 times. I watched it for the second time last summer. And then over the winter, I had just got done rewatching all the Guardians trilogy plus the holiday special, Infinity War and Endgame. I did it chronological.
Okay.
And it ended, and I was like, man, I kind of want to watch another superhero movie. Nah, I don't know if I want to watch another Marvel movie. And I was like, we'll turn Snyder Cut on. It's like 10:30. I'll just watch it for an hour and a half, go to bed. I was up till 2. So
That's crazy.
This is great.
That's another one that I'm gonna have to start and stop. I mean, there's no way I can sit through a 4-hour movie in one sitting.
Yeah. See, Mo knows. Mo knows. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, everyone seems to agree on that, but still, it's a 4-hour movie. You know how I feel about these damn long ass movies.
Sure. For sure.
But yeah, as far as Lord of the Rings goes, I'm going to watch the theatricals first, and if I really love them, then maybe later I'll watch the extended.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
Yes, go for it. We love hot takes here. I'm the hot take king. So go ahead.
While they're typing, just
Yeah.
for the record, I've never seen the Hobbit movies because when they came out, I was like into doing other things. So I missed the first one theatrically and I was like, I'll catch it on DVD. And then I just heard from like 5 people that they were like, it's fine. It's not
You know
bad.
what?
It's
The
not a bad movie. It's fine.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't want to watch fine. Like, if you're going back to the well, give me, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. The Hobbit games were pretty good. I remember playing those growing up. But yeah, I obviously haven't seen those movies either since I haven't seen Lord of the Rings. Have you seen Wait, you haven't seen the Harry Potter, have you?
I've seen the first one. I've never seen, because I watched the first one when it came out.
Okay, yeah. So I watched the first 2 when they came out, kind of didn't watch them for a long time, and then finally watched all of them for the first time like 2 years ago. I kind of had a deal with Mo and Pink. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, the third one is easily my favorite, but that's the only one that I gave above 3.5. None of them are bad, but they don't resonate with me the way they do with a lot of people my age. And that's probably because I didn't watch them growing up, because it took me so long to finally watch them, you know?
You didn't watch them growing up. You didn't read the books. I mean, you know.
Wow. Let me
go get another prop. Hang on.
Okay. This might be a hotter take than any of my hot takes. I will always be an avid defender of the Joel Schumacher Batman films. Yes, that includes Batman and Robin. Can't agree with you there, buddy. Yeah, I don't think those are very good. But to be fair, I also don't like the Burton ones. I'm just not a Burton fan in general. So that entire, like section of Batman movies, I did not like. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Those are like 3 of my favorite movies of all time. And I think that the Batman is kind of overrated. So Dark Knight trilogy is easily my favorite Batman stuff. Oh, and the animated series and Mask of the Phantasm.
So, official Rave Blitz. I'm gonna monologue for a minute. So,
okay,
I was 6, almost 7 years old when Batman and Robin came out. So that movie, I was literally the target demo. So this is my George Clooney. I've had this since kindergarten. This
wow, look at that.
My George Clooney Batman action figure. I also had Poison Ivy, but she's gotten lost somewhere in the last 20 years.
Oh man, that's unfortunate.
Because they came as a 2-pack at Toys R Us.
That's awesome.
This is the George Clooney Batman. And then, so I know you said you're not a big fan, but I got them all. I got all of them. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Do you know what killed the dinosaurs? Ice Age!
I mean, I do love Arnold's one-liners, that's for sure.
And you gotta understand, as a child, I'd seen all these and I was like, these are great. This one was probably my favorite growing up because you're a kid. So when Batman Begins came out, it was like, whoa.
That was game changing. Yeah, like Batman movies can be this good. Holy shit.
I'll never forget. Me and my dad walked out. We saw it opening night or opening weekend. And my dad was just like, wow, that was great. Was not expecting that at all. And I was like, what happened to Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like,
right.
You know, it was a great film, but you were just totally like thrown off.
It's a way tone. Yeah, it's super dark, super gritty. And I was 8, 9 when Batman Begins came out, and like it was life-changing. And then of course The Dark Knight, which surpassed it, you know, took everything Batman Begins did and went to the next level. Yeah, Mo, I totally agree. Toys R Us was amazing. I mean, that was my entire childhood, being able to walk through Toys R Us and see all this cool stuff and, you know, try to convince my mom to let me buy something. I remember got her to buy a bunch of Star Wars stuff from Toys R Us. You know, I bought the ships. I had like a huge like Darth Vader case that had like a bunch of Star Wars action figures, almost all from Toys R Us. Yeah, those were the days, man. So I think the Toys R Us that was somewhat close to my house is now like oh God, what do you even call that? It's got like blow up. Fuck, I don't know what the hell those things are called.
I was reading the comments. What are you trying to figure out?
So okay, so what used to be a Toys R Us, by me, or some like 10, 15 minutes away from my house, the one I used to always go to. It is now, the building is now something entirely different. It's like
Five Below.
No, not that.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of the word. It's like the blow up like slides and
Oh, like a jumpy,
I can't think of it.
It's like
yeah,
like,
that
like
Jesus.
a jumpy park.
Yeah.
Yeah, trampoline park sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. So yeah, that sucks. Oh, your mom worked on that movie. That's awesome, man. Yeah, Arkham Asylum. Yeah, those Arkham games were really fucking good. I remember playing those with my brother. And I think it was on the PS3. Really, really good fighting games. Trampoline park. Yeah, I know. For some reason, I couldn't think of the right word, but that's what it is now. It used
We
to
got
be
one down the street called
Toys R
Jump
Us.
Zone. Yeah.
Okay.
What else you want to talk about? Dude, let's do it. We're here. Let's talk. What do you got?
I honestly, I didn't plan on going much longer than an hour, so this is probably a good time to call it a night. So, yeah, I'm gonna log out and probably, you know, watch some movies. I got so many that I need to watch. So, thanks for coming on, man, and thank you to everyone who popped into the chat and had some stuff to say. Thanks everyone for supporting my prequel videos, getting me 2,000 subscribers. Really, really cool stuff. And I got a lot more planned. So it's going to be really fun. Thanks everyone.